Thank you, David. Jack McPherson is next to speak. Jack and I met through John, and it's really great to see you.
You want to sit here, Jack? You want to sit?
Well, I'll stand.
You want to stand? All right.
I may lean a little bit. Hey, man. Yeah. Oh, my name's Isaacson. Greetings. My name's Jack McPherson. I met John over 40 years ago on a basketball floor. A mutual friend asked me, I had been gone from Aberdeen, where I grew up. Need to move over?
Yeah. Let's get closer to you. Maybe. Stay. Just like that. Maybe it's straight.
There we go. I had my hearing aids in and I could hear myself. I just assumed you could. Anyway, I had been gone from the community for several years, and a lot of my friends that I went to school with and everything had moved away. But I was in business with my wife's father and met some people in the business community, and one of them was a fellow named Tom Isaacson, who his family ran a logging supply business, which at the time was a good business. But anyway, Tom and his business sponsored the basketball team and invited me to play. And he listed the names of the people, and I knew some of them. And the first time I met John was on the basketball floor. And for some reason, we were instant friends. Maybe because we were the two oldest on the team and the two slowest. But anyway, you'll have to excuse me a little bit. I have these notes here that really don't make a lot of sense. It comes part of the demographic that I'm in right now. But anyway, I was going to title this John the Early Days, but it's now apparent that it's the middle days. But anyway, I got to be very careful. Most of my notes say, "Where are you?" You're off track. John and I played basketball and slow pitch for nearly 25 years. John was the pitcher, I was the catcher. When we played basketball, John was the point guard, I was a post. That meant I didn't move much. Anyway, I got a call from Tom Isaacson a few days ago asking me if I was going to come to this. And I said yes, and he said he couldn't make it. He says, but sure to tell John's family he was a kind man. In our basketball team, that was a real statement. And I finally realized John was kind because he would bring the ball up the floor, and unlike other people that did, he would pass the ball. He was kind. The other guys always shot. But anyway, John was a collector of antiquities. I'm not sure if I care for that description, because at this point in my life, I used most of the things that he was collecting. But anyway, this was before the days of internet, Google, whatever. But he knew where everything was. He called me one day, he says, "You want to go to a Seahawk game?" I said, "Sure." "What's it cost?" He says, "You got a truck?" I says, "Yeah, pickup." "Oh," he says, "I need a bigger truck." Okay, I can round that up. So we drive a bigger truck up to Seattle. We came home. "How do we park this thing?" He says, "We'll park it over here." He says, "It says no parking." He says, "It's too big for him to tow." I said, "Okay, now we're up here to get a shuffleboard." "Yeah." I says, "Is it one of the newer ones, the short one with the rails on the side?" "No," he says, "it's a long one." So after the game, we drive north of Seattle, a ways up by Northgate or so. And we had another friend with us, but he was going on up to school in Bellingham. But anyhow, the three of us managed to get this full-length, tavern-style shuffleboard, complete with score rack and reset buttons, pucks. We managed, fortunately, threw some rope in because it was too long for the truck. We had to set it up over the cab. And we get back to Aberdeen, I'm saying 7, 8 o'clock at night, and it's me and him. "Oh, stop over here at Fritz's house." About 3 blocks from the Robert Gray School where he was teaching kindergarten at the time. Makes a couple phone calls. Pretty soon we got like 4 or 5 guys. We managed to get this shuffleboard into his classroom, set up for school Monday morning. Now this was at a time in beer tavern era, excuse me. City of Aberdeen and Hoquiam. In that time, I wrote an essay in high school in the 60s. There were 82 taverns, from the Wigwam Tavern north of Hoquiam to the Haven Tavern as you come out of Aberdeen and start up the Hoop Hill. 82. Including South Aberdeen. But anyway, every one of them had a shuffleboard. Pool tables weren't quite in vogue yet. It was just becoming this drink. I'm sorry, I lost the word. Anyway, more popular. I got to thinking when we hauled that in there, now this has probably got to be the only full-size regulation shuffleboard in a kindergarten class in the United States. And the legs weren't on it, but he had them. He says, "But if you put the legs on, why the kids were too little." So we propped it up. And the very next year, my third daughter in her kindergarten, she comes home, "Dad, you wouldn't believe what we got in kindergarten." I says, "What?" She says, "They call it a board. I think it's a shuffleboard." "Yeah, shuffleboard. And boy, is it fun." Who'd have guessed? John. That's what he thought. He was the perfect, and I do mean perfect, kindergarten teacher. And I have my wife, 2 of my daughters have taught school. It's a hard job. None of them taught kindergarten. But anyway, John was adventurous. We went down south on another antiquities ride one day. We're going down I-5, getting close to Vancouver with another big truck. Went by an exit. He says, "How are we doing on gas?" I said, "No, we probably should have stopped." "Oh no, keep going. There's another exit up here." I says, "I don't know." Well, we could see the exit sign. So could the gas tank. Yeah. When we pulled off, coasted to a stop. I got it covered. Away he went. 20 minutes later, come back with a gallon of gas, and we made it to the exit and filled up. Went and got a back bar. Not one of his best purchases. You know, you adventure yourself or imagine yourself in a tavern with a all nice oak stained back bar. This one was painted pink. Oh, he says, it didn't look like that in the picture. Anyway, we stored that at my shop for about 5 years, and finally somebody walked in and said, "Oh, that's cool, I'll buy it." I told John, "The man you've been waiting for is here, you better get one." Anyway, took us a while to get home that night. The truck battery died at a stoplight in Rochester. Managed to get into the parking lot of the tavern that was there. My wife, who was kind enough to come and get us. And I got in the car and I says, "Now, honest, I was not this drunk when I called you." Anyway. Knowing John all these years and having had so many good times and so much camaraderie and closeness, it was really sad to see him start to fade. And Debbie, you have been an amazing, amazing little lady. I can't tell you how much that means to me, knowing that John was being so well taken care of. On a more joyous note, and this ties it all together in my mind, I have a granddaughter who lives up the road, 2 houses down from Jonathan and his family. That brings it all back together for me, almost daily. I have 2 great-grandsons now that live there. And to realize that they're tied to such a wonderful family is a secure feeling for me. You know, there was an old movie called Parenthood. One of the greatest lines from that movie is, "You never stop being a parent." And I'm looking at now my daughter, who's the grandmother to this granddaughter. She lives just over here a ways. And we worry about them all the time. It just doesn't go away. But having closeness with, I think, is one of the finest families I've ever met. And thank you. I guess I didn't know how long I'd be able to stand here, but I find myself actually getting stronger with each thought. But I won't bore you with those because I have this condition that requires I take a pain pill. And I take some other medicines for some problems. But the pain pill doesn't make me sleepy. It sets my mind on fire. And it's like I start talking like everybody else dreams. You know, one thing leads to another. So I need to shut up now. Thank you.